Picture this, you're walking through a forest about 12,000 years ago. There are no cities, no roads, no money, and definitely no dispensaries. You're just another hunter-gatherer trying not to become lunch for a saber-toothed cat. But then someone in your tribe notices something strange. After sitting around a smoky campfire filled with burning plants, people start laughing a little harder, staring into the flames a little longer, and claiming they can hear the forest talking back. That raises a surprisingly modern question. When did humans first start getting high? The answer is much older than most people imagine. Long before written history, long before the first civilizations, and possibly even before agriculture itself, our ancestors were already experimenting with mind-altering plants. They didn't have chemistry labs or rolling papers, but they had something just as powerful, curiosity. And curiosity has always been one of humanity's favorite drugs. If you think ancient people spent every waking hour desperately trying to survive, that's only part of the story. Hunter-gatherers certainly hunted, gathered food, built shelters, and avoided predators, but they also sang, danced, painted caves, buried their dead with rituals, told stories around fires, and searched for experiences that went beyond ordinary life. Across nearly every human culture we know of, people eventually discovered ways to alter consciousness. The real mystery isn't why humans started getting high. It's why so many completely different societies discovered different intoxicating plants all on their own. Cannabis is one of the oldest examples, but probably not the very first. Scientists believe the plant originally evolved somewhere across Central Asia millions of years ago. For thousands upon thousands of years, wild cannabis simply grew across open landscapes. Animals ignored much of it because of its strong smell, while humans kept walking past it without realizing what it could do. At first, cannabis was probably far more useful as a practical resource than as a recreational one. Its tough fibers could be twisted into rope, woven into cloth, and eventually used for fishing nets and early textiles. Its seeds were nutritious and packed with oils. If you discovered a plant that could feed you and help you build stronger tools, you'd already have a reason to keep it around. The high may have been an unexpected bonus. The oldest direct evidence for humans intentionally inhaling cannabis smoke comes from Western China around 2,500 years ago. Archaeologists discovered ancient wooden braziers inside mountain cemeteries. Chemical analysis revealed residues containing unusually high levels of THC, the compound responsible for cannabis's psychoactive effects. This wasn't someone accidentally tossing weeds onto a campfire. These people deliberately selected stronger cannabis plants and burned them during burial ceremonies. Imagine standing on a cold mountain at sunset while smoke rises through the air, surrounded by family members honoring someone who has just died. The purpose probably wasn't to throw a party. Instead, the altered state may have helped participants feel connected to ancestors, spirits, or the mysteries surrounding death itself. But here's where things get even more interesting. That wasn't necessarily the beginning. It was only the oldest physical evidence we've found so far. Humans had almost certainly interacted with cannabis for thousands of years before that. The problem is that smoke disappears. Plants decay. Ancient joints don't survive for archaeologists to discover, so researchers have to piece together clues like detectives solving a crime with most of the evidence missing. Some scientists suspect early humans first noticed cannabis by accident. Imagine throwing random branches and leaves into a campfire. Different plants create different kinds of smoke. One evening, someone tosses in a bundle of wild cannabis. Soon, the people sitting closest to the fire begin feeling unusually relaxed, talkative, or deeply fascinated by absolutely nothing. Instead of blaming ghosts, they probably repeated the experiment. Because humans are incredibly good at repeating experiments that feel nice. This pattern appears throughout history. People didn't discover alcohol because someone invented brewing overnight. Fruit fermented naturally Honey fermented naturally, milk fermented naturally. Eventually, someone tasted it instead of throwing it away. The same curiosity likely applied to countless plants. Some made people sick, some did absolutely nothing, and a few produced experiences unlike anything else in nature. Over generations, that knowledge became incredibly valuable. Entire communities learned which berries healed wounds, which mushrooms could kill within hours, which leaves eased pain, and which plants could change the mind itself. This knowledge wasn't random folklore, it was survival technology. In many societies, the people responsible for these discoveries became respected healers or spiritual leaders. Whether those visions reflected supernatural experiences or simply the chemistry of the human brain, they became woven into religion, medicine, and culture. Cannabis fits surprisingly well into that world. Unlike many stronger psychoactive plants, it rarely caused violent hallucinations or dangerous poisoning. In moderate amounts, it could relax people, reduce discomfort, and perhaps encourage conversation or reflection around evening fires. Ironically, the same campfire that protected humans from predators may also have become one of history's first methods of consuming cannabis. Nobody knows exactly who took the first intentional inhale. Maybe it was a hunter sitting alone after a long day. Maybe it was a healer experimenting with plants. Maybe it was someone who simply wondered, what happens if I try this? That tiny moment of curiosity could have started a relationship between humans and cannabis that has lasted thousands of years. Today, cannabis is everywhere. It is used as medicine, a recreational substance, and a billion-dollar industry. But the story started long before laws, companies, or even civilization itself. It began with a human looking at a plant and asking questions. Because before humans became farmers, builders, or scientists, they were explorers. And sometimes the biggest discoveries come from the smallest experiments. And the first person to get high probably never realized they were changing human history forever.